Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Twiggs County Board of Education meeting. It's so great, always good to see uh, those of you that come to us in person. We also want to thank our online community as well as our stakeholders for joining us this evening. It is my pleasure to call the Twiggs County Board of Education meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024, and the time is 6:02 p.m. And tonight we have three cadets, Cadet Young, Lowe, and Finn, and they're going to lead us in the pledge. So we're going to ask everybody to stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Oh.
Want to definitely take this time to thank our General TC cadets. Thank you for leading our pledge this evening. I have some special students to recognize. Jada Finn, if you will come forward. And we have Shafrasia Young. Ms. Young, if you will come forward. And then Xander Lowe, if you will come forward. And so, guys, you're going to get a picture with Dr. Bullard. So let's give our students a round of applause. So we're taking a picture. Colonel Terry and Master Sergeant Lockhart, thank you for your hard work with our cadets. I know that I've been in Twigs for the last 3 years, but I just want to thank you for the amazing job you do with our students. They are truly student leaders. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's give them another round of applause.
I'm looking at that. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve, to approve the agenda for Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Okay, the motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear and second by Ms. Rouse. Is there any, not Ms. Rouse, Ms. King. Ms. King. Is there any discussion? Okay, the question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the agenda. All in favor, raise your hand. So the motion passes unanimously. Now, you've had an opportunity to view the minutes from April 23rd, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as distributed. Ms. Blackshear, would you do the ethics statement?
Yes, thank you. In accordance with regulations set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict of interest or interest of such conflict. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, we will proceed with our agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Do any of the board members have any comments or remarks at this time?
The red looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, and the uniform do too, of course.
Yes. Yeah, I'm hoping to join them next year. If there are no other comments, Dr. Bullitt?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair Rouse, board members. Our constituents who are with us tonight in person and those who are joining us virtually. This is a great day in Twiggs. We are on our last official milestone testing day. We have some makeup yet to do at our middle high school, but we are excited about our students' performance. We already see signs of growth in our middle school performance scores that have already started to come back in, so we're excited to see the full picture in the next few weeks. I do want to acknowledge one very significant event that is going to be happening next on Friday the 24th, which will be our Twiggs County High School graduation ceremony. I want to make sure the community knows that we will start on time, sharp at 7 o'clock in the Twiggs County High School gymnasium. So please govern yourselves accordingly. We want to make sure everybody is seated prior to the graduates coming in, but we plan on the graduates and the procession starting right at 7. So if you can get there a little early to find your seat, those family members who will have tickets, to find your seats on the floor so that everyone is in place when the procession begins at 7 o'clock sharp on Friday, May the 24th. We have board chair and board members. We have 3 special announcements that I want to make on tonight. The C did not make the list, but it is one of the superintendent comments that I wanted to make, and that's with this Read United partners. Dr. Griffin Stewart will come up after Ms. Dotsikas. But the commendation, we have Colonel John Terry and Principal Dr. Simmons, who is going to come and present a commendation from the Air Force ROTC. And then the retirees will also be acknowledged tonight by Mrs. Dotsikas, and then Dr. Griffin Stewart is going to also recognize some dynamic partners in our school district. So we'll start with Colonel John Terry and Principal Dr. Simmons.
Good evening, Board Chair Starfin, Dr. Bullard, Vice Chair Rouse, and board members, both our constituents here in person and those at home. Thank you guys so very much for joining us today. Today is a very special occasion, also a very sad occasion, as we acknowledge one of our very own, Sergeant Lockhart. Sergeant Lockhart has been with Twiggs County High School for some time, and he has made a profound impact on the students and the community as a whole with his leadership for our Air Force JROTC program. And for those of you who do not know, Dr. Lockhart has made a decision, Mr. Sergeant Lockhart has made a decision to retire for a second time at the conclusion of this year. and we wanted to acknowledge him and all of the great things that he has done. And so Colonel Terry is going to present to him a commendation that has been provided by the United States Air Force. Colonel Terry.
Yeah, the Air Force and the military in general does a real good job taking care of its very sharp troops. Whenever somebody retires or changes stations from one place to another, they're recognized. And even though we're retirees from the military, the Air Force still recognizes the importance of saying thank you and job well done. Colonel John McGonigal, who's in charge of Air Force Junior ROTC, sends a commendation medal to those who've served well, served our communities and our teams well, if they choose to retire. And he sent one to Sergeant Lockhart, and I'd like to read it now. It reads, Certificate of Service from the United States Air Force. This is to recognize Master Sergeant Corey A. Lockhart, U.S. Air Force retired, for 10 years of faithful and devoted service building leaders and strengthening the bond with school, community, and our nation. On the occasion of retirement as an Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps instructor, given this day, 2024. Signed, John McGonigal, Colonel, United States Air Force. Sergeant Lockhart, if you'd like to come forward.
Don't say much.
Good evening, board members. Good evening, Board Chair Starfin. Good evening, Vice Chair Rouse. Good evening, Dr. Bullard. Thank you to all of you who have joined us this evening in person, and those of you that have joined us online. That's going to be a hard act to follow, but I would like to recognize two individuals this evening that will be retiring with us this year. If I could ask Sergeant Lockhart to come back up. And I think we do have a picture. Do we, Mr. Basley? Do we have a picture that we can share? There we go. Sergeant Lockhart has been with Twiggs County Schools for 10 years now, and he has served our school community faithfully after serving the United States for 20 years in the Air Force. And we are very thankful to you for your service, not only to our community, but to our country. And we wish you all the best in your retirement. And we have provided you with a suitcase so you can just go and enjoy. So we do thank you. Thank you. And we have one more retiree that we would like to recognize this evening. I'd like for Mr. James Fitzpatrick to come up, please. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Fitzpatrick. Mr. Fitzpatrick has been working with Twiggs County Schools for 31 years. 31 years. He has worked with our district as a parapro. He's worked at Jeffersonville Elementary as a teacher. And he's worked at Twiggs County Middle High School as a teacher. And I believe you might have been a parapro at the middle high school as well. Am I right? And I might have left a few things out too. But Mr. Fitzpatrick, we're so thankful for you and for everything that you have done for our students here in Twiggs County. And we know where to find you. We know where to find both of you. But we do thank you for your service. And we have a suitcase for you as well to be able to take and enjoy, but don't go too far. Thank you so much.
It brings me great pleasure to recognize some of our very important community volunteers. Read United has been with our district for a couple of years. And for those stakeholders who don't know what Read United provide, they provide an awesome service for our students because they come in and give their time to help our students with reading. And we know that reading is a major part of our mission and our vision because we want our students to be able to compete. So our Read United volunteers, I want you to know that we appreciate the service that you provide for our students. I've had a pleasure opportunity to know all of you and know that not only do you teach the children and help them with reading, but you also give them that love that they need, that extra love, the kind of grandparent support, the mother support, and so much more. So for that, I tell you, I'm humble and grateful to be able to recognize our Read United volunteers. So when you see your name, when you hear your name called, I want you to just come forward so we can give you a wild shout out, wild applause, because what you do for our students, it means a lot. And I know I can speak for Principal Jenkins over there. She loves Read United. And so again, thank you for serving our students beyond self all the time. So without further ado, Miss Easley, Mr. Carla Easley, if you would come forward. We're going to get a picture with you with our officer superintendent in just a second. Miss Carolyn Aaron, if you will come forward. I've been knowing Miss Aaron for a long time. Miss Laura Gallimore, if you will come forward. And Miss Annette Stevens. And our dynamic duo, our couple duo, Miss Elaine and Mr. David Middleton, if you will come forward. And Mr. Milton Sampson, if you will come forward. So we do have some members of Read United who come and serve, and I just wanted to give them a shout out today as well. Ms. Debbie Carr-Starfin, Anita Harden, Mr. Thomas Harden, Mr. Hilliard Anderson, and Chesley Butler. So let's give our Read United volunteers another round of applause. So Dr. Bullard, if you would come down and take a picture with our volunteers. So again, I just want to humbly thank all of you for working with our students and listening to them read, you read to them, and just loving on them. We really do appreciate you. Okay.
Thank y'all.
Mr. Chair, that concludes the superintendent comments and announcements.
Wow, those are some great comments. Thank you very much, Dr.
Sir.
Bullock. This time, we're going to turn our attention to our business agenda, and we'll be hearing from Mr. Austin with the budget update, as well as Mr. Sakis, Ms. Reardon, Mr. Bacon, and Dr. Griffin Stewart. Mr. Austin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Board Chair Karstoffen, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Superintendent Dr. Bullard, constituents in person and virtually. It's good to see you. We'll talk about our budget update number 3, according to our budget calendar. It does align with our vision of generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare our students to compete globally. As always, our budget documents and presentation aligns to all 5 of our strategic plan goals. Budget priorities, we'll talk about college and career readiness, staff professional development, capacity and retention, health, wellness, and safety, and funding the gap. Some general information, technology, we have a budget $72,417.44 based on QB allotment. It will cover and address hardware and infrastructure, cybersecurity measures, software and license, IT training, and support services. The market is recovering from high inflation rates, still has a ways to go. Those inflation rates create additional costs, especially for our operation budget. Due to that, the operation department will start to perform more professional development for existing staff to hedge against using third-party vendors that have to respond to the market. ESSER staffing, the district will retain one position from our ESSER staff pool, that will be a school nurse, to continue to address health outcomes in Twiggs County and in the student population. To further mitigate, we'll use third-party services such as ESS to address any rising costs and health premiums as it relates to that particular role and roles. College and career readiness. Our Georgia Tech partnership, it is used to give our students more exposure to STEM and to create a learning environment that will introduce a computer pathway to address and to provide clarity on robotics and coding. Georgia Tech will provide the furniture and equipment for the pathway, and we'll have the responsibility to outfit the room for proper infrastructure such as electricity, power upgrades, and things of that nature. Georgia Leadership Institute for School Improvement, also known as GLISI, will assist in developing our portrait of a graduate. We want to know what it looks like for a graduate that comes out of Twiggs County Public Schools, and we'll use all stakeholders to develop that vision. Hutchins College and Career Academy, we've had this partnership for a few years now. The transportation costs, that's the district responsibility of getting the students to Hutchins. In the past, we've had a grant from a local college that helped funded this particular transportation, but grants do sunset, and we are anticipating that to happen, and we're planning and budgeting for that. Staff professional development, changing of the standards. The LA standards are being updated, and it is anticipated to go into effect the 25-26 school year. We'll plan to prepare staff this upcoming school year, 24-25, for professional development to get them ready for the ELA standard update. We do have to consider Senate Bill 48 and House Bill 538, legislative mandates that we'll have to address and also provide further professional development for as well. Math, science, and social studies, the data suggests that we have growth opportunities. We'll use consulting and other research-based resources to continue to improve student outcomes. And direct instruction is the #1 impact as it relates to student outcomes, so we'll put our focus and attention there. Gifted, according to our mission, all students, And our gifted program will continue to expand by supporting the attainment of endorsements and required materials for our gifted identified scholars. Capacity and retention. I'd like to take this time and pause and thank the board for the work to approving all the salary increases that have taken place from FY 22, 23, 24, and up to this current point. With those funding increases in our state salaries or our teacher salary schedule, we've been very competitive and actually outperformed the state. Recently, the governor has issued a $2,500 increase to their state schedule, and we have adopted that schedule to be aligned to what the state is paying. The district, to go beyond that, will provide a $2,500 one-time incentive to certified staff in January 2025. $1,000 salary supplement for school custodians were provided by the state, and they will also be provided during that time. As far as health, wellness, and safety, the state has provided $45,000 per school for infrastructure. This is a new funding source for us. We're excited that we have a commitment to safety in Georgia public schools, and we'll continue to use that to develop our safety program. Health and wellness, the district will explore opportunity through insurance benefits to ensure that staff has the necessary resources to address all their health and wellness concerns. Funding the gaps. So with all the changes that takes place in the legislation and actually the market, there are responses that we have to do. Looking at this from a historical lens, this 2012 Tax Digest and 5-year history is a reference document to talk about 2007, 2008. In those particular years, the millage rate was increased to 20 mills due to the fact that the economic crisis with the housing market had taken place. If we go to the next, we'll see that in 2018 to 2023, looking at another 5-year gap, we'll notice that from 2012 to 2021, we sustained 16.6 as our millage rate. In 21, 22, and also 23, we adopted rollback rates to avoid any issues as it relates to tax burdens. But as we look at the facts here, we had to look at, during that particular time of 2007 and 8, that there was RIFs in place, furloughs, and other things to balance the budget. And COVID-19, this similar economic crisis happened, and we received ERSA funding from the state in order to offset us doing RIFs, furloughs, and increase the millage. We are facing a 67% increase in health benefits that funds our local staff. And there was a note in the legislation to increase about another 11.4%. They wanted to do the increase this year, but due to some conversation, they delayed it into a further year, and that caused us concern. So the solution that we have to, well, the challenge brings a $587,200 gap that is unfunded. The solution is for us to propose looking at a millage rate increase of 1.5 that should roughly yield us $595,904.84. And this is based on the 2023 Tax Digest numbers. And we currently earn $397,269.90 for 1 meal. Now, this will cause us to have 3 public hearings, and this will take place August, September, and maybe October. What's the impact of this? Based on an example of $100,000 on the market value of a home, the current rate being adjusted by 1.5 will be an increase of $5 more per month, or roughly $60 per year. These are estimates based on the example that is used. It will vary based upon the home value of each particular taxpayer and also the actual assessment value that we receive over the summer, which that comes in late June. We are hoping that we have natural growth in our tax digest as we've had in the past 10 years or so, and that will help offset some of this, and we'll continue to have those conversations over June. But the proposal here is to, 1, thank the board for the rollbacks for the past 3 years of 21, 22, and 23, and then 2, to look at the future outcomes and ensure we can sustain all the unfunded mandates going forward.
I understand the rollback. That is, I understand and hear it. 1.5 increase.
Yes.
We exalted every avenue. You know, when we had Ursula, we picked up some positions that's funded from general funds that we didn't have. And we consider looking at those positions. I mean, if we did it without those positions, I'm not trying to cut the education of kids or nothing, but if we educated kids up until then, my question is, have we looked at those positions that's coming out of general funds? I'm a taxpayer in Twiggs County. And I know that we got a lot of taxpayers here. A lot of you all don't pay taxes in Twiggs, you don't live in Twiggs. And it don't sound like much, $5 a month or 100 or whatever. I just want to make sure that we exalted every avenue before I consider 1.5 million.
Yes, sir. Great question. The first thing was a proposal presented to the senior cabinet and Dr. Bullard for us to look at attrition as our first method of addressing the budget. Attrition meaning that once a person resigns, once a person retires, do we have a need for that particular role in the district? Most of those attrition took place through our ESSER position that we funded, and so we did not consider those positions in the budget. So that was our first. The second part of that, we have looked at our allotments, we made projections, and we determined that we are now aligning because we don't have ESSER 2 leaning. So as far as any additional support, staff, teachers, we have aligned our allotment to match. Thirdly, we looked at our non-salary for our operation. How are we operating? How are we purchasing? And we invest into things that provides us more efficiency. Mr. Bacon does a fantastic job at doing that for us, so we was able to find cost savings there in our operation department. Transportation has done the same thing. And so the goal was for us to have a 7% efficiency target that each department was to look inside to see could they save us 7% and then still accomplish the mission. And thus far that has happened. So we've looked at all those measures. During that process, when I received the final update end of March from the legislation in the General Assembly, that unexpected change in premiums took place. We were not expecting it to go up that high. It was originally told us that it would be one amount. They shifted the amounts. And then we had some other updates and bills that were passed that we had to consider. So we had a moving target. We had a target in front of us. We were sure we had a great plan to address it, and some things happened that was out of our control. So as a last resort, my third recommendation was a possible consideration on the millage rate. And so that's why it's not coming up at this part of the budget season, because all these other external factors have caused us to.
After hearing you say all that, the question still saying, or even contract, how many contracts that we have paying out of maybe that we consider personnel. I'm not trying to take nobody's job. I'm trying not to pay no taxes. So, I just want to make sure that we look at all that.
We did. Operation has been meeting consistently for the past 2 months, looking at all of our vendors and looking at things that we can bring in house. And so we've looked at that. Vendors as a whole, even not operation, instruction, things of that nature, support services. We've addressed those. We put it on a list. We said, is it meeting student needs? Is it being used with fidelities? Who is using it? We went through that process. So looking at other positions will put us in a position where we cannot meet the mission fully because the system that is being built has yielded great results for us. So at this point, we're at the balancing act of keeping the staff at an adequate level based on allotment and still be able to meet the mission and vision that the district has set based on the focus areas of the street. So that's the bridge that we're
the last resort, 1.5.
This last resort sounds like we're desperate. I don't want to. I don't want to lead and let that be on record
Well,
coming
I
from
mean,
this
for
podium.
lack of a better.
But to use that phrase, I'll say that we're at the point of considering all options. So initially it was we considered 2 options. Now we have to consider all to ensure that we balance the budget and better system.
Any other questions, comments? All right, Mr. Austin, I think you got something else.
I do. So the salary schedule that I talked about not being presented at the last board meeting was the state salary schedule from the as relates to certified personnel as relates to teachers. So they finally approved it, sent it out, and so I wanted to confirm and make sure that we matched exactly what they had. Our base salary schedule was 42,000, and their proposed 43,592. So we had to ensure that we increased our steps in order to adjust for the 2,500 that the governor proposed. So this is the one that was not seen by you all and the stakeholders. So I wanted to put this one in front so that you have a chance to review it, be able to ask questions, but this is the salary schedule that's been presented from the state with all necessary increases. The next one would be the local supplements. We have not made any change to our local supplements. They're pretty much the same, so we'll hold steady with that because that's what we fund from taxpayer and local staff. So we have not made any adjustments there. The remaining salary schedules is what we presented already. Our admin, classified, other support services, merit-based supplements, those has remained the same. So they are up for review again. So on May 28th, the next board meeting, will take all our schedules for consideration.
All the supplements and they've remained the same.
Yes, sir. We haven't changed anything. No other increases have taken place except for what the state has provided. They provided funding for that.
Are there any questions? If no questions at this time. I'd like to.
Like the information. I can say
What is?
information.
Oh, I thought it said action on this thing.
We just got this new salary
Got you.
release. We didn't want to have to vote tonight, but literally just came available to us yesterday. So we put that. This is the only one that changed.
From the
Schedule.
schedule. Thank you, Mr. Seekers.
Good evening again, board members, Board Chair Karstafen, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Dr. Bullard. For those of you that have joined us in person, thank you for being here. And for those of you that have joined us online, I'm going to be bringing before you this evening an action item about ESS, which is a K-12 staffing solution company. About a month ago, I shared some information with you about ESS, but before we go over that again, I would like to share our vision, which is generating excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. While we are looking at supporting our district, we want to work with ESS to help maintain our strategic goals. Goal 4, which is growing and sustaining our village, and Goal 5, premier people first organization. As I mentioned to you about a month ago, ESS is a staffing organization that specializes working with K-12 school districts. They help school districts like ours place long-term and permanent positions such as paraprofessionals, substitute teachers, and school support staff. They work all over the country helping support school systems, and they have 23 years of experience working strictly with school systems. Now, as we have been mentioning, we are finding that our health care costs are rising significantly each year. In fact, this year we've seen our health care costs rise rapidly, actually quicker than we thought. And we also know that our ESSER funds, our federal dollars, are going away. A few years ago, we were able to hire an additional nurse so that we would have a school nurse at each location. And we were able to do this through our ESSER funds. With those funds going away, we were trying to look at creative ways to be able to continue to have a school nurse at both locations, at both of our buildings, because that is such a critical piece to have in our buildings. And we found that if we outsource these two positions through this staffing company, that we actually will save some money and reduce the strain on our local funds, and we'll also be able to retain both of those positions. This organization will help provide us that alternative solution. What we found when we looked at these two positions is that both of our employees that we would like to consider for this are currently not vested in TRS, and the company ESS will continue to offer them a full benefit package, and that does include a retirement package that they will be able to become involved with. They will also provide them with health insurance, and they will give them weekly pay. Okay, so we would like to go ahead and move forward with your approval to be able to have these two staff members work through ESS. Do you have any questions for me?
Will ESS help us with our subs too, with Kelly service?
Yeah, right now we are using Kelly service for our substitute teachers. We actually looked at ESS for the nursing solution because they focus strictly on school districts. And right now our Kelly services is working well. And so we felt like going with ESS for the school nursing positions would make sense because they focus strictly on school systems.
So it would save us, and if we did ESS did the nurses and the.
We actually have not researched that piece of it yet. That is something that we can start looking at in the coming year. because we already are in agreement with Kelly. But we can start looking at that over the next year to see if there would be any cost savings at going with the one company. We will.
What is the cost for it?
It's actually a percentage based on the employee's salary. When we looked at the numbers, it saved us a total of $26,000 over the 2 employees, which was a little bit more than what we were looking to find to be able to keep both. So it's actually a percentage amount because they break down the cost of each employee's salary, and they look at, we won't pay the TRS percentage, which is 19 point, is it still 19.6, Mr. Austin? Thank you, 20.7. That's the percentage we pay to TRS. We also have a social security tax that we pay. We have a workers' comp tax we pay. And then, of course, our health care costs are rising. And so the percentage that they charge us for each salary is drastically less than what we pay per employee for all those different taxes. And it came out to over $26,000 in savings.
So actually, you still, I mean, you tell me what we save, but I want to know what we paying.
It's a percentage. I don't have the actual percent. I can get it for you, though. I can get it for you.
Back to the Kelly Services. So we under contract with them now also?
We are under contract with them just for substitute teachers.
You have any idea how much longer we have?
I can find out and get that and get it to you. Because I don't know it off the top of my head.
You know, that's what I was speaking of a few minutes ago. We contract here, contract there. Spreading your money everywhere. I mean, you might say you're saving, but you're spreading it. You spread it so thin here and there. I mean, all the contractors, I think we need to look into some of that.
Yeah, I can look into that.
Especially like with the Kelly Services. Everybody that I seen come up here from Kelly Services that work in Tweeds County, from Tweeds County. Okay. So actually, we have hired them personally ourselves. Most of them already have, not looking for the, as far as the look, what Kelly's were offering.
The benefits.
Right. But I'm quite sure when all y'all chief staff y'all met, y'all did consider all that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. I'll find that out. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No. We get that. Okay.
The board member, before board chair Starfin call, let me just clarify what we're asking you tonight. Remember the conversation when we were over in the JES's library when we talked about it, introduced TSS to you?
I remember.
Okay. So we introduced that to you in terms of health concerns, just the day-to-day type of services that our nurses provide to non-critical types of services. That's great. The hygiene, the giving of medication, those types of services would not be provided without that registered nurse being there. We can give them a bandage, etc. But if we're going to dispense medication, make sure that we treat small wounds correctly, etc., you need a school nurse. So we were looking find a way, because Weeks County is only allotted one student on our allotment. We only have one. That was allotted. So we were looking for a way to be able to keep both nurses in place. That one nurse that we had, if you recall, she was serving both buildings. In one day in one building, one day in another. But we have determined and see the need to have. So we were looking for a way to keep. We knew what our budget could manage in terms of our general budget and our QBE. So we looked for a way. We knew what that cushion was to keep. So we knew we had salary to pay, but we also have Social Security and TRS. Okay? We have all of that when they on our pay. We have all of that. So by finding a way to partner with a company, it would remove 21% of their salary that we would have to pay to TRS, and it would remove the benefits costs that we have to pay that Mr. Austin just talked about. That big increase in pay or in benefit costs that we have to pay for by contracting with ESS, it would allow us to keep both nurses, and we would save 26 plus thousand. We would spend 26 plus more by keeping them. So it is a cost saving. So we're asking your approval to use ESS to keep the nurses, and as a result, remove our financial burden for TRS, benefits, etc., for our school nurses. We'll get to keep. Okay? I heard the board members ask about Kelly Services. We heard, would ESS be a better service provider for us? Okay, I heard that, and we will look into that, because I can't answer that question if you couldn't tonight. Okay, we will see if ESS's percentage that we pay to them on the salary will be a cost saving over Kelly, because Kelly does the same thing with us for the substitute that they provide. They do the same thing. And so we'll look at that and report that back to you, because if that is an opportunity to say, because we have looked at Kelly Services and with that, keeping that contract benefit, we saw that it would benefit in order to continue with that contract. We'll look at it again and see if using ESS would also be an additional cost. We'll look at that and we'll report that back to you. You'll have it before the next board. So we will look at that. But we want to keep the two nurses in the building. Both of the nurses talk about the number of students that they see, and it's hundreds per month, with the types of issues that kids are dealing with and the medications that they're having to be dispensed that the doctors have already provided, and the issues that are occurring in the buildings. You all get the messages, fall on the floor, pass out, all of those things. School nurse right there to address. So we want to keep it. We found a way to do it that does not negatively impact our budget. Save partners. We will come back with you and let you know if Kelly Services is a less cost-effective measure to provide subs. We will provide that for you. I don't want to say without really putting the numbers.
Right.
I just don't want to say that. And we'll make a recommendation about Kelly Services. Prior to Mr. Austin coming up, we did look at Kelly Services, see if Kelly Services was something that was cost efficient for us, and it was. Keep it in our budget. But we'll look at Kelly Services, moving that over to ESS will be in the okay. But what we're asking for you tonight is to use ESS to nurses. And that immediately creates $26,000 bonus in our.
Comment?
I don't know that you take it that way. I wasn't trying to say we didn't need the two nurses. We had that conversation before, and I'm in total agreement. Anything for the children, and I understand that we needed the two nurses. That's not the problem with me. So
Yes,
the
sir.
two nurses, yes. The question I asked is just about numbers. It's not about not having the nurses to service the kids. I just want to make that clear.
All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the school nurse, contracting ESS in order for us to retain our school nurses. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Okay. Okay, the motion to approve the ESSA services has been properly made by Mr. Rouse and second by Ms. Blackshear. Questions on the adoption of the motion to approve the ESSA services. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. The vote is unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Seekers. Reardon?
Good evening, Board Chair
Give us some good
Karstarfin.
news about Grant.
I've got some good news for you. I try. Good evening, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Superintendent Dr. Mack Bullard, our stakeholders as well. Tonight I'm going to be presenting some grant awards information for you. And again, our vision is to generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. And the strategic plan goals that we are focusing on tonight is 1, learning and wellness for all, and 2, excellence ahead, academics, facilities, and opportunities. First, I'm going to remind you that we have first readers. We accomplished this through L4GA grant, was how we were able to start our partnership with first readers. The mission of first readers is to strengthen communities by providing quality books and literacy resources for children and their families to use at home during the earliest stages of development, birth to age 5. Nothing helps a baby's brain develop more than rich language and loving interactions. The key is having books in the home and being read to from birth. Ms. Leah Tony with Family Connections and I are the local community action team for first readers with Twiggs County. Again, we started this with the L4GA grant, but we need to sustain this through outside funding sources. This program costs $42 a year per child. Children enrolled in the program receive an age-appropriate book every month until their 5th birthday. Each book also has a parent newsletter with activities to support the book and to support the learning and interaction with their child. With that said, as we seek out additional funding, the Spark Good Grant, it's a local grant with Walmart's, can support many activities within the school. Well, the Walmart on Russell Parkway in Warner Robins, this is the one that's closest to the interstate on Russell Parkway, has awarded us a grant of $1,000 to first readers on our behalf. So if you're in Walmart on Russell Parkway, thank them for allowing us this grant for $1,000. We've also secured a grant with Tri-County EMC Foundation. They have grants for projects and community service in the amount of $750, and we were awarded $750 for our First Readers program on behalf of Twiggs County through the Tri-County EMC. Since September of 2022, Twiggs County First Readers, we've been able to give out, to deliver to students 1,886 books, and we serve about 95 children each month. So why do we do this? You're looking at our why. At GR Lighthouse Learning Center, these are the books, these are students that have received books this past month at the Learning Center. They were excited to receive these. They receive an age-appropriate book each month. We also have local community members that receive them in the mail in their homes. We have other community members that we get them here at the district office, and then they're delivered to those community members. We also have with Twiggs County Public Schools pre-K, you'll see our students here. These are some books that they've received some time back. Both classes, all the students received a book each month through their entire time in pre-K, and then at the end of pre-K, which all the book children at age 5, but for us, we schedule it so that they receive it at the end of pre-K. It's a book called Wimberley Worries, and it's about preparing the child to go to kindergarten. So to take away their worries about starting kindergarten. Next, we had another opportunity to apply for a grant for the Think, Make, Create Lab. We applied for this grant through the Georgia Statewide After School Network to expand STEAM, science, technology, to expand STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. The purpose is to build a culture of innovation for youth in rural Georgia. It is to build out, equip, deploy, and support the implementation of the Think, Make, Create Lab and address the shortfall of experiential learning opportunities in the out-of-school time space in rural areas. Part of an initiative to mitigate a growing need for access to STEM activities that is oftentimes not found in rural communities. We have been awarded this grant. It is for over $36,000. Only 3 counties in the state of Georgia have received this grant. Twiggs is one of those 3. Only 7 states in the United States has these learning labs. Idaho, Nebraska, Wyoming are some of those states. So what is included in this? We get the Think, Make, Create Lab. That is hard to say. There's training that is provided. We get the materials that are in the lab, then additional supplies to replenish the lab in the amount of $6,000, and then additional support of $2,000 per quarter to support the lab. So what does it look like? It is pulled behind a vehicle. So you see a picture of one. This is the one from Nebraska that you see in the picture up here. Ours is currently being built. So it is, I couldn't get a picture of ours yet. So ours is being built. We will pick ours up in the middle of June. You'll see some pictures here of what it looks like on the inside, how they store the materials that are there for the use of the teachers or the students, however we choose to use this. So I want to take you back for what is our why. I want to take you back to our mission, to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. We want our students to be excited about STEAM. STEAM and STEM prepares our students for the highest demand careers in Georgia, which are healthcare, information technology, logistics and supply, education, skilled trades like plumbers, HVAC, welders, business services like financing, accounting, marketing, the hospitality and tourism industry, manufacturing, biotechnology, and engineering, energy. Then it is projected that the top career opportunities nationally by 2030 will be energy, technology, logistics, cybersecurity, data specialists, and healthcare, all of which are STEAM or STEM-related fields. Are there any questions? I hope that was good news, Mr. Carson.
Yeah, do I understand that grant 36,000?
It's approximately 36,000. Included in that is the lab that is pulled behind the vehicle,
Okay, plus
plus everything
6,000
that's in the
and
lab.
2,000.
Then an
In addition to
additional
that.
$6,000 to replenish it once we use it up first time around. And then there's $2,000 per quarter. And we'll have more information as to how that can be used when we go to the training in June.
Any questions? Molly.
Well,
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. Reed.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Reardon.
Good evening, Board Chair Christophin, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, and our audience here and away and watching us virtually. First, I'd like to remind everybody who we are. We are a district with a vision, generating excellence, one team, one goal, with the mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all of our students to compete globally. What I'm here tonight to talk to you about is the Alternative School Renovation Project. This aligns with our strategic focus areas 1 and 2, learning and wellness for all, excellence ahead, opportunities, academics, facilities, and opportunities. The Twiggs County Public School is planning on transitioning the alternative school from the middle high school building to the central office building for the upcoming 24-25 school year. This move will require a partial renovation of the new location, which is on the other side of us. The renovation will include upgrading exterior doors, installing camera systems, upgrading electrical for new lights and additional fixtures, renovation of existing restroom, installation of drop ceilings as needed, installation of new flooring as needed, installation of access control, installation of new HVAC units, and painting. It is our plan to use the front entrance. The front entrance will be the old city, when they occupied the building, that entrance, so buses will have easy access in and out. What we're trying to do is limit the access of this side of the building, so it will be like they have their own separate hallway, separate way to get in. As you can see, once you walk in, that will be the lobby area. So parents or people have to come for meetings. So we're trying to really separate, our ideas to separate that space out so that they're not in the general space of central office. Just kind of give you an idea, those of us who don't remember or haven't gone down there, I'm sure we'll tour down there. That's our front door going this way. We'll lock that off with a secure entrance. The corridor that will need to be painted. We need fire and egress and all of those things that go into when you put students back into the building. The classroom will be approximately 350 square feet, plus 2 offices, which is very large. We plan on accommodating anywhere from 15 to 20 students. On average, we average 9 to 10 students in our alternative setting, and that is, to clarify, the students who have been adjudicated in a hearing. So you got kids who are in ISS, whatever local school punishment. These kids have actually been adjudicated in a hearing for really egregious offenses of the student code of conduct. So we feel like the room will accommodate more than enough students. In that room, we'll have 2 offices, one for the teacher and of course one for any tutoring or conferences that may need to happen there. So it would all kind of be centrally located so that one person can man the facility. The restrooms, at one point, I think the Reading First program was here with some pre-learners. So all the toilets and sinks are for pre-K and K students. This will mostly be a high school, middle school endeavor, so we'll have to renovate the toilets and the sinks and the urinals to meet adolescents and teenagers. So this is our timeline. We plan on starting immediately because we have summer, which you'll hear from Dr. Griffin Stewart. We have summer schools, summer programs. We have kids going all over the state of Georgia, and we have regular cleaning and maintenance to do. So we look at starting May 27th and having the project finished July 19th. It's a little bit ambitious, but we do expect that to be done before the teachers arrive back to for pre-planning, as we will have staff over there. They need to be able to get into their room and be able to get accommodated. So that's our tentative schedule now. The budget. There are 7 funding sources that will be utilized for this project: FLOSS, bond, as well as a safety grant. Some of the upgrades are planned, like roofing and things like that, because we have to maintain this building as well, so they will be integrated within that. The estimated budget for this project is, we're estimating around $75,000 to $90,000. All expenditures that are exceeding the $25,000 threshold will return to the board for its approval, as we do always. Are there any questions or concerns?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair Karstafen, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Mrs. Blackshear, Ms. King, Superintendent Dr. McBullard, all of our stakeholders listening virtually and in person, good evening. It brings me great pleasure to share our Summer School 2024 overview, our Summer Opportunity Program. But before I can share this information with you, we are a district with a vision and a mission. And our vision is generating excellence, one team, one goal. And our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare our students to compete globally. Our strategic objective for our Summer Opportunity Program is linked to Focus Area 1, Learning and Wellness for All, with a focus on designing personalized and equitable learning environments for students. The Twiggs County Summer Opportunity Program will serve kindergarten through 12th grade students. The dates and times are as follows. Students will attend the Summer Opportunity Program Monday through Thursday, with the dates being June the 3rd through 6th, June 10th through 13th, June 17th through 18th. The start time at JES will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then our Twiggs County Middle High School, same dates, will start at 9:15 and end at 2:15. Students will be offered breakfast and lunch daily from our National Lunch Program. Our curriculum focus: students in kindergarten through 8th grade will continue to focus on already reading and math for both, again, kindergarten through 8th grade. And our 9th through 12th grade students will focus on credit recovery through Imagine Learning, and we plan to offer those students who qualify 2 credits. Enrichment activities will also be provided for our students. At JES, our Read United volunteers who were here earlier will continue to serve our students during the summer program. They will be engaged in physical education, technology, food, nutrition, and community-linked activities. Our Twiggs County Middle School students will have the experience of enrichment activities this summer as well, through physical education, music, basketball, camp, to name a few. And then our Twiggs County High School students will not be afforded any enrichment opportunities because they will be focused on credit recovery. How will summer school progress and growth be measured? We'll continue with our kindergarten through 6th grade students taking a pre-test through our ready reading and math. So we'll have standards of focus for pre, and then the same will happen with the post-test during the teaching during summer school. We will administer a post-test. With our 9th through 12th grade students, it's all about recouping those credits through credit recovery. What is the Summer Opportunity Student Selection process? Our students in kindergarten through second at JES, we're using various data points. Our iReady ELA and math data will be used. Our Hegarty results, as well as teacher recommendations, any students on the retention list, and of course, parent requests. It will be the same for our 3rd through 8th grade students, with the exceptions of 3rd, 5th, and 8th being those gateway grades. And our 3rd graders are required to pass reading. Our 5th graders are required to pass reading and math, the same with our 8th grade. However, with our Georgia milestones this year, we are getting results in as we speak, but with the math results will come in August. So we will be using our iReady data to determine our math students. And then, of course, again, with the selection process for 9th through 12th, will be credit deficient students in 9th through 12th, and credit recovery will be offered. The timeline for our Summer Opportunity Program, the preparation timeline. Teachers are currently planning. They're using the month of May to plan. The logistics and leaders meeting started in April and will continue throughout this month to make sure that we're ready. Student invite letters have started going home for our elementary and middle school students. We will definitely send those letters for our high school students last, because we want to make sure we give those high school students ample enough time to do any makeup assignments or finish any credit recovery opportunities they have right now. Summer school pre-planning expectations for our teachers. Of course, continue to keep the data in front of us that we have to make those summer opportunity student selections, preparing summer school letters. We're reaching out to parents now by calling, texting, and we're also creating a video that our parents will be able to view as well about the Summer Opportunity Program. Getting duty schedules together for morning, lunch, and dismissal, and then ordering any teacher or student supplies, lesson planning, our PBIS expectations are still in place during the summer, and then planning those enrichment trips. Our Summer Opportunity funding source, this is definitely a celebration. Pre-planning, teachers will be afforded 8 hours at $25 an hour, so that will come from the general fund. However, when we pay our teachers, paraprofessionals, instructional supplies, and enrichment camps will come out of the Communities and Schools grant. And so I want to thank Ms. Jackie Curtis in advance for always making sure that we're afforded opportunities through the SI grant. On transportation for our students will be provided out of Title V. And then staff pay exceptions will be out of general fund. We only have one staff member right now that will have a special exception because they can't be paid out of CIS, but we may have an additional one, so we've already funded that in. Now, we will have a robust 10-day summer school program this summer. We thought a lot about our kids ending this year, still focusing on those standards, but we've also got to be very cognizant of teacher and student burnout, because teacher and student burnout is real. Secondly, we want to make sure that we provide opportunities for our families during the summer, because we've noticed in the last couple of years that students miss the end of that last week because they're going on vacation. And so we want to make sure we afford our students the opportunity as well. We want to make sure that we give teachers time to recharge and recover, as well as attend any professional learning sessions that they would like to prepare for, because the goal is we're ending the 23-24 school year. But at the same time, we are eagerly preparing for the 24-25 school year. And last but not least, it will also support our maintenance department as well as our custodial staff, because they will have more time to prepare our buildings and grounds in preparation for the 24-25 school year. Are there any questions?
You got all your teachers?
We have all our teachers for summer school. We have all of our paraprofessionals for summer school, and we also have some substitutes ready to work in the absence of teachers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to Move into executive session. I get a motion for that move and discuss personnel matters. Yes, sir. That's the question. All right. We're not going to answer that tonight, but thanks for bringing that. All right. Can I get a motion to move into executive session?
So move.
Second. Okay. The motion to move to executive session has been properly made by Ms. King, I believe, and second by Ms. Blackshear.
Made by
Made by Blackshear, second
Made
by
by
King.
Blackshear, second by Ms. Queen. Okay, I couldn't quite. So, all in favor of moving into executive session, raise your hand. Okay, the motion is unanimous. We want to thank all of you for being with us this evening. And you're welcome to hang around. We'll be back. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the motion to approve returning from executive session has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear and second by Mr. Rouse. Is there any question? Are there any questions? If none, all in favor, raise your hand. All right, the vote is unanimous. At this time, we want to get a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for 5009. Can I get a motion, a new hire, 5009. Can I get a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for the new hire, 5009? Second?
Second.
Okay, the motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for the new hire, CID 5009, has been properly made by Ms. King and second by Ms. Blackshear. Are there any questions or discussions? Okay, the question is on approving the motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation on the new hire. All in favor, raise your hand. All right, the motion passes unanimously. Superintendent, do you have any other business to discuss?
Mr. Chair, that concludes all our business.
If there's no other business, this meeting is adjourned.